So I kind of feel like she should have stayed in jail for the rest of her life and thought about everything that she did.
I don't agree with that.
No?
No.
Hey everyone, welcome to Born Brazen. We're your hosts, Holly and Jules. And on this podcast, we talk about documentaries and our thoughts as to what happened, unfiltered and raw.
So today we're going to finish up this lovely episode of Maternal Instinct and the craziness that is this story and all the lies and
Deceit,
holy shit moments.
manipulation,
Yeah.
murder. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, 100%. Double murder.
So if you haven't watched episode 1, stop, drop, and roll back to episode 1 so you can get caught up on our thoughts and commentary as to what happened. If you've seen Maternal Instincts on Netflix, or Maternal Instinct on Netflix, then you will know exactly what we're getting ready to talk about. And I hope you're just as fired up about it as we are. So
does it get any crazier than a fire and a bomb threat on top of double murder?
On top of money lies?
Millions of dollars in money lies?
Car buying that got repoed? And doctors knowing she had a hysterectomy and couldn't tell anybody. I don't think so. So let's hop into it. Last time we left off with the nasty emails that Taylor and Wade were getting, and we wanted to know who they came from. So I believe they came from her best friend. Best friend?
Well,
was she a best friend?
Yeah. Well, see, I wouldn't let you get away with shit like that. Like, if that was you, if you and I continued this friendship and you decided you won't be friends with me in 6 months, and we kind of split apart, but you kind of kept me around.
It's a pity around, I'll just be honest.
I would never have let you done that, knowing at one point that was my ride or die, that is my best friend, but we split apart later on. Oh, hell no. You ain't getting away with telling the world that you're pregnant and going through that. I'm telling the world. 110% I'm telling the world. And I'm calling whoever the dude is, because obviously it wouldn't be this current husband because he knows. But, I'd be like, this bitch, she can't have babies because I took care of her after her hysterectomy and brought her blankets and all kinds of things. She can't have babies.
Because these emails were pretty much calling her out. I don't believe a word she said.
Yeah, but why the anonymous is what I'm like, no, because I would have never done that anonymously.
Right.
At all. And there was other emails too that we found out that she was sending things, but it was her and she was sending them as her mom.
Right. She had multiple phones.
Yeah, multiple phones.
Emails,
different, all these accounts. Oh, and a voice changer.
Yeah.
To call and leave voicemails for people.
It is so much work.
Yeah, I can't imagine
this.
Holding all those lies together and what she's told, what she hasn't told.
You need a journal.
Yeah.
You need a journal to be like, this is what I told this person. This is what I told. This is the fake email. This is the fake, you have to have something to keep. I don't know. I
don't have the mental capacity for any of that.
No. So she ended up, obviously, she didn't have any money.
Yeah, the money was a lie.
And blamed her mom. Her poor mom.
Yeah, blaming her mom, saying that my mom is keeping me from getting what I'm due.
Yeah.
Like, no.
The only thing you're due for is an ass whooping. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And what really, really pissed me off, she befriended a lady that she worked with.
Yeah.
That had previously lost her daughter.
For reals. Lost a daughter.
And this hoe said, I know how you feel. I too lost my daughter. You didn't lose your daughter.
Yeah, your daughter exists.
Your daughter exists. You did not lose her. You, lost her in a way where you don't ever see her.
Yeah.
But
in the her own stupidity way.
Yes. But this poor lady was like crying because it's hard. And I understand that. It's hard to relate to somebody on that level if they've never been through.
Yeah. And granted, at the time when it's all happening, did she make her feel a little bit better? Probably. Let's be honest. In that moment. But then fast forward to later on when it comes out and the girl realizes that everything she said was wrong, is just like a kick to the gut, you know.
Yeah, if she had made her feel better and left it, sure.
Yeah.
But the fact that it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing I did not care for too much about this documentary is the fact that they brought the victim in so very late in the documentary.
Yeah.
And I understand you need to tell a story as to leading up to it, but we are all about honoring the victim. And that's the real focus as to what happened.
Yeah.
So they eventually then bring in Reagan Hancock, who was the victim, one of the victims, because like we said, families are all victims, but she was our main victim that horrific things happened, befriended this girl. Taylor did her wedding shoot.
Yeah.
Did her baby.
And they were showing the wedding photos that she took. I mean.
And they were good. She was a good photographer.
They were okay.
Well,
I mean, I've seen better, but for what that was, like, they were good. And they were all admitting, like, they still look at those photos. They still care. Mm-hmm. You know, they still hold all the memories and they love them. But it's like, yeah, knowing what came of it.
You can't trust people, man. I'm telling you. It's a sad, sad world that we live in, that you can't trust people. Julie and I were talking about vetting, backgrounding check people that do your photos and do things like that. Because the world is so crazy. You just never know who you're going to run into.
Yeah. But had they done that to her, nothing would have came of it.
Yeah.
Had they background checked her, I mean, it didn't sound like, you know, she was never like arrested or done jail time or anything like that. So even had they questioned like who they were hiring, you know, like with what you and I were talking about, like, you know, should you do that if you hire somebody? I mean, you can, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to find anything that makes you think they're going to do something to you later necessarily. You know, like there was no background check to let you know that she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You know, she wouldn't have a background check touting, you know, all the times that she lied about something like, oh, I have cancer or I have leukemia or I have MS or whatever you know, there was a million things that she had told her friends back in the day that she had. And, you know, no background check would have found any of that, but I get it. But I think that's probably why nowadays everyone tends to lean towards word of mouth, you know.
Family, friends.
Mm-hmm, like, so you know a little bit about them ahead of time and you have somebody else that can vouch for them and say, which I'm sure was the same case in this for this too. Like she came from somebody else like, hey, I know this girl, you should use her to take your photos. You know, she did these and they were really good. She just happened to be at the right place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
In her story, like
100%
to fulfill her outcome that she needed.
And they just said Reagan felt sorry for her. Like, you know, it wasn't she wasn't a best friend, but she was like, oh, okay.
She kind of took her in. Like,
Yeah.
She recognized like, oh, she kind of looks like she needs a friend kind of thing. So she, and it's nothing but just a person with a kind heart.
Don't take stray friends. That's the moral of it. Don't take a stray friend.
And when you meet somebody and they say you might not want to be friends with me in 6 months, or we might not be friends in 6 months, you should believe it and you should just let them go then.
Yeah. True story.
Bye.
So I also have a question. What kind of talent do you need to have to make people believe that your fake baby is kicking?
Yes. That was unreal.
And it showed, like,
you could see it in the video.
What? I mean, okay, so we've joked before about, like, you know, film a baby kick, when you're having, like, a food baby, like a too much ate and you, like, poke your belly out real quick.
Well, but that's my favorite joke with my brother. I just walk up to him and that's the joke. I'm like, feel my baby kick. And he's like, what? And he touches me and then I kick him in the shin. Sibling jokes.
That's too. So, but you're talking about doing this under a fake belly. That's insane.
Yeah. I don't know how she got that to be a thing. Like I don't know how that came about.
I have no idea.
That's crazy. Because they didn't mention that, but they did legit show the videos from like the court hearings, like stuff that they used that they found, like legit things to show that she was going online and buying those bellies.
Yeah.
Because she had to progress it.
Yeah. She had to trimester her bellies.
But even that one dude that knew from the beginning, that friend that I felt really bad for, but was very happy to see that they kind of rekindled their friendship after the fact. Because he was even talking to his wife like, this is bullshit. Like, look at her photo here. Look at her photo here. Look at her photo. Like, her belly is changing. It's back and forth. Like, one day she's really big, then she's kind of not, then she's really big again. It's,
Which is so funny that the man picked up on that. Because men, no offense, they're super non-observant. Like, they don't see a whole lot sometimes, but he picked up on that. He was like, yeah, she ain't right.
But I had a hard time with his answer to some of that, saying, I just want out of it and I want to leave it alone. And but because, like I said, this potentially had danger written all over it. And maybe it's just, maybe it's just me and I like the drama. I would have been screaming from the rooftops, like,
drama
she
queen
ain't pregnant. She's not pregnant. Like, I would want to out that.
Yeah, for sure. But good news is somebody got in contact with her mama.
Yes.
And her mama laid it all out.
Yep.
She ain't pregnant. She had a hysterectomy. The bitch is lying. And so one of the questions we had last time is like, why didn't she come out and say more?
The mom, yes.
But
that poor mother.
Her mom has her daughter, has Taylor's daughter.
Had access. Well, was it full-time? Is that where she lived full-time? Because technically her reasoning, I get it. Oh, I'll bring it up in a second.
Yeah. So her reasoning was that she didn't say anything is because she had Taylor's daughter full-time. And she was scared if she rocked the boat and said anything that Taylor would come get her daughter and take her away.
But where my head went with that was, no, she wouldn't. I really don't think that she would have. I think she liked the part-time parent role.
Yeah.
Like that she could have that daughter when it suited her. And the rest of the time she wasn't there. So her going and picking up that daughter and then being like, you are now 24/7 with me, I don't think she would have done it.
Yeah. But I also understand the fear of it.
Yeah. 100%.
The fear of what happens if.
Yeah.
So I also, amongst all of this that's happening, right? The questioning, and she's supposed to be due, but then there's reasons why she can't go to the hospital.
And everyone's questioning why you've gone over your due date.
10 months. I have never heard of a person, maybe tell me if you have, that has gone 10 months without the doctor going, you're induced, we're taking the baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's not healthy. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
So that is,
at this point, she's just freaking out.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah. And everybody was saying she could have faked a miscarriage, which is a horrendous thing to do.
But she should have done that way earlier.
Similar to Manti Te'o when we were talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing, she could have walked away and been done.
Yep.
But they kept it up. Same thing. She could have walked away. I had a miscarriage. Oh my gosh. So sad. Because it probably would have brought them closer together.
Yeah. Or, potentially could have.
Potentially could have. But no, she saw through it. Saw through it, which is insane. So some of the things that she did to prevent the birth of
are
fake
just
baby.
Insane. More as if this isn't insane enough.
Yeah. Yeah. She set the house on fire is the one thing that she did.
Mm-hmm. Her own house she's living in.
Wade's house.
Just set it on fire underneath.
Yeah. Why? That was your way out, was I'm gonna set my house on fire to delay the baby? And then when they had a scheduled appointment to go to the hospital to be induced, she did what, Julie?
Called in a bomb threat? Because, that's something you do. But it worked in her favor because later that day, everyone's like, why aren't you at the hospital? There was a bomb threat and it's all over the internet.
And it was because she called it in. Insane. Why? The level of crazy that this woman is, blows my mind. So let's get on to the horrific.
I about cried at the end.
Oh, I did cry.
Like watching her husband at her casket.
Yes. Homer.
Homer. I just can't even, I can't even imagine, not only losing one person, but two,
mm-hmm.
and in that way.
Oh, yeah.
Because of someone who's completely selfish.
Yeah. So Reagan's mom called her and couldn't get in touch with her.
Yeah.
Or no, Homer couldn't get in touch with her, so called her mom.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get in touch with her. I'm heading over to her house. And the garage door was open.
So she knew immediately that wasn't cool.
Nothing was wrong. So as she's walking through the garage, she sees streaks of red and she thinks, oh, it's the dog cut his foot. That happens. It does. And she's like, okay, I'm not going to go in. And then starts thinking, well, what if something's wrong? I need to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And walks in.
And that poor other.
And sees her daughter on the ground, blood everywhere. So she panics and calls 911, freaks out. Her husband gets there, who's Reagan's stepdad. And she's like, don't go in there. You don't want to go in there. And he's like, I got to go in there.
Yeah.
Because her daughter was in there, her other daughter.
Because she had another child and the child was at the house while this all was going down.
But to get to her child, he had to step over her and he couldn't do it. So they sent, was it a family friend?
Yeah, I think it was just another
friend.
another guy, family friend, who basically was like, we gotta get her out of there.
So
like, well, and we got to make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
First of all.
So he, said, I stepped over her, went in up to the daughter's room, and the daughter at first kind of shielded herself, then realized who he was and jumped, and like he had to catch her
into his
he had to catch her, which
makes me believe she saw something.
Oh yeah.
Something, like her behavior in that moment.
Yeah.
Was just, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. And so then they had to find out, because she was laying on her stomach. Then they had to find out if the baby was okay. And when they rolled her over, they saw that
there wasn't
a baby. And then Reagan's parents had to find out through Facebook that there was no baby, which is, again, cops, do better. You can't let this stuff out on Facebook before the family knows. I mean, absolutely horrendous. And so then they start bringing Wade in for questioning. To me, he looks totally unfazed when they said Taylor's in jail. And he's like, oh. Like he knew, like subconsciously he knew something was wrong.
Well, it started that morning because her ruse to get him out of the house was she set up, again, faking shit, text messages and phone calls. So he thought that they were going to drop off some wild hogs that day to sell to make money. And she was supposed to go with him. And the plan was to do that really early. And then they were going to roll out of there and go to the hospital and be induced that day. Well, in her head, she was like, I got to get out of this somehow. So she said, I'm not feeling well. I'll meet you at the hospital. And in the meantime, he leaves. After he gets a couple hours away, he makes a phone call or a text and then finds out that was all not real, that there was nobody waiting for him to drop off these hogs. And at that moment, I think he's kind of had him thinking again.
Yeah, something's not wrong or not right.
Yeah. And then, but of course, she's still in that moment is trying to lie to him still.
Like even when she was in the hospital and they did an exam on her, found out she was not pregnant, no baby, no nothing. She stood her ground until,
and she's telling Wade, still lying to Wade. And, yep,
I was
my
pregnant.
baby.
It was my baby, because the baby ended up passing away. But yeah, still, like they brought her in for questioning, and she's like, "That was my baby. That was my baby." It's like, bitch.
And
stop.
And while she was in jail, she tried to also say and lie again that poor girl was telling her, I don't want this baby in me anymore. Take it out. Take it out.
Yeah.
What woman in their right mind would look at another woman and say, right here in the middle of my kitchen, cut my baby out?
No. And that's what the cop said. The cop was like, there is no way in hell Reagan asked you to cut that baby out of her.
No.
Stop lying. Stop lying. And it was insane the amounts of people they didn't interview or question.
Yeah. Oh, I want your opinion on, I was asking Holly about this. I'm really surprised that when they brought him in to tell him, we've arrested her, she's in jail, there was no baby, all of that, not once did they have an inkling to be like, were you in on this? And did you know that there was no baby? And were you a part of the scheme to get a baby?
Yeah. That's a really good point.
Not even a little bit. I don't feel like, unless I missed something, unless we didn't get to see everything, but I did not feel like they thought about that like at all, and I get it. You don't want to, this tragedy just happened, but You can't tell me a cop didn't think about all the things that we're all thinking. That you've been living with her for this whole pregnancy. You sleep next to her every night. Have you not seen her naked? You guys haven't had sex. All of these factors, like, you should be thinking about that to ask him. Like, are you really that, not to victim blame, because he's just as much of a victim as well, but you've got to ask those questions. Like,
And I think
how did you not know that she was not pregnant?
and I think they scratched the surface, but they didn't dig.
No,
They didn't dig into it. And even he called Wade called his best friend and was like, "Do we haven't had sex in like 6 months?" And she won't let me see her naked. Like, she showers by herself,
goes in the bathroom, locks the door, and just does whatever she does in there for hours and then comes out.
which has had him suspicious as well. Like, what the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm. But when you have all of those, now that you know they're at the end, you can't tell me one cop wasn't like, what if he was in on this and knew also that she wasn't pregnant and what she was going to do that day?
Yeah.
Like that ruse of going, I went to go drop off Hobbs. Well, but you didn't. Like,
well, they also
not even like a thought that like he was separating from her to like, you know what I mean? Like to make this story work. Like not one question of Wade.
Because in her bag, they found the scalpel that she used, all the cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the cops was like, hardest thing about being a cop is that you have to be nice to the person, whether you want to or not. Like, I would have kicked her in the face if I was a cop, but that's against the rules. That's why I'm not a cop. But one of the cops was like, she is not to touch her bag.
Yes. Under no circumstances.
No circumstance. She is not to be around her boyfriend. She is not to, he was
no
like,
phones.
He was about to strangle her, which.
But where was that brain with the,
right.
And I'm not trying to say that they needed to be mean to Wade, but it's the number one thing where everyone goes, like a spouse or, someone dies, they go to the spouse, they go to the boyfriend. Like, it's always because that's their constant
shtick
person that's with them at all times. Like, you got to question a little bit.
Yeah.
Even just a little bit, because if I was in the shoes of the parents whose daughter was murdered, my head would be like, are you sure that he was not involved too? Because I want everybody brought to justice over this, losing my daughter and my grandchild.
Which I wonder if they had enough evidence that they didn't need him.
Maybe.
But we don't know. They didn't go over that. So maybe not. I don't know.
Because especially with the whole incident with the money, because everyone has been also referring to all of that side of it, of like, why did you stay with her? Like, did you think the money would still come? There's just so much that like I felt like wasn't really questioned, but everyone was just kind of like, okay, bye, Wade. Like, sorry about the life that you just had. Like, all this crammed into this
for the last couple of months. Yeah.
Cars, razors, tractors, babies. Like,
but like Julie said last episode, he said, I never once told her I loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Because his mom asked, like, do you love her? And he's like, no.
Yeah. And he claims like that was something like even when she left the courtroom, when she was being taken to jail, he made the comment too, like, I feel like he said, I felt like she wanted me, like still at that point wanted me to be like, I love you. Like, but he was like, but I never said it in general. So like, I didn't say it there in court either.
Yeah. Especially after what you did.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah.
So it all ended, her obviously being caught, going to trial, by a jury,
and they said that this was not a guilty or innocent, that like going in, it was, we know you did it. It's basically, it came down to the sentence, like how long and death penalty or not.
They only took like 7 hours to deliberate, which if you understand the jury process and all of that, that's a very short amount of time to deliberate.
That was pretty much like, she legit killed this lady and killed her baby. we just need to vote on if we're putting her to death. Like, there's no question. Like,
for sure. So they did find her guilty. Death row is still an option in Texas.
Yep.
And as we started this out, she did get death row.
Yep.
And
currently the youngest woman in Texas currently on death row.
I'm tossed between that. I feel like she should have spent the rest of her life in prison thinking about what she did. But also, I don't know if she would have felt bad.
Yeah. I mean, the way she continued to lie, you know, even in custody, well, she wanted me to cut the baby out. Just shows how delusional she is. And, you know, it's kind of like, what's the point in, I mean, you killed 2 people. Like, do you go through the effort of being like, fine, we'll just put you in prison and we'll get you help? Because at this point, I don't think she deserves it.
Yeah. And she wouldn't. So there's even a code in jail, right? Like, you don't hurt babies. You don't molestation, killings, anything that has to do with children. You typically don't last long in jail.
Before you're in solitary or someone kills you.
Correct. There's even morals in jail, believe it or not. So it was heartbreaking. The whole story is heartbreaking. Reagan was a caring, beautiful, I mean, they said she got pregnant at 17 with her first child, and her stepdad was like, I was disappointed, I was infuriated, but she was born to be a mama.
Yes. Loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Being a mom.
Excelled at it.
And it was like best mom ever. So if we could take a moment to just understand that she was a perfect human that was taken way too early, and the poor baby was just did not deserve what happened in any way, shape, or form. It almost would have been better if she did try to steal the baby from the hospital, because at least the baby would have survived.
Yeah. I would have rather her got caught doing something like that.
She was 38 weeks when it happened. So she was almost there. So one thing that when they did the funeral, something that her Reagan's sister said that, you know, she was like, I wanted her to go to hell. Like, I wanted her to burn in hell. And she talked to the pastor, and he said, everyone can be forgiven, but not by us. And I know for me, that stuck with me because that's a lot. Like, I have a hard time forgiving people on stuff, but then I always think like forgive, but not forget. But that stuck with me, that everyone can be forgiven, but not by us.
Yeah.
And to know that that's okay. That's okay. So that is this week's episode. A tough one.
Yeah. It was a lot.
It was a lot. So I hate to say I hope you enjoyed, because I don't think anybody enjoyed that. But I hope you like our crazy commentary, I guess, as we get all riled up about things like that. Because if you're a mama out there, let us know, because I'm sure you were just as heated as we were. Next week, we are going to talk about just a quick episode. It's not going to be too in-depth, but if you've seen the news lately, it's not even a documentary review, and we're just going to touch base on this. There's a man who had a warrant, or was out looking. They were out looking for him for something, and he survived 20 years on a boat before he was captured. So that's interesting. We're we're going to bring that news to you because I'm actually pretty amazed that you could have done that.
Yeah.
Insane. So until next time, stay positive and stay with.
Hey, Holly.
Yes.
Did I tell you earlier that I got bit by a wolf?
Oh no. Who? By what? Huh? Where?
No, just a regular one.
Werewolf. Yeah, I got that.
It's just a regular one.
Just a regular, not a werewolf, just a regular wolf. But